Now that we've defined what a block is and looked at some examples, let's go ahead and practice distinguishing that difference between blocks and the factors, levels, and treatments. So our first example here, the statistics department is performing randomized experiments to compare teaching methods. Response variables include students' final exam scores and a measure of their attitude towards stats. The research compared two levels of technology, calculator versus Excel, for large classes in a basic statistics course. There are 8 classes taught by 4 professors, and each of those professors is going to teach 2 classes. Because professors differ in their teaching styles, a block design was used here. Okay, so kind of the two things we have going on is we have this calculator versus Excel. We have these 4 professors. So the way I make this distinction here between those blocks and the factors and levels is it says the research is comparing these levels of technology. So that's going to tell me my factor and levels are this calculator and Excel. And then if I back up a little bit, now I want to think about those blocks and how those 4 professors are going to fit together into those blocks. So if my sample is 8 classes with 4 professors, I'm going to do my blocks as each professor and the 2 classes they're teaching. So my blocks, each professor has 2 classes. So I'll have 4 blocks here, one for each professor. And then their 2 classes, one will be randomly assigned to a calculator and one is randomly assigned to Excel. All right, let's look at another example here. So a dog food company wants to compare a new lower calorie food with their standard dog food to see if it's effective in helping inactive dogs maintain a healthy weight. They have found several dog owners willing to participate in the trial. Dogs have been classified as small, medium, or large breeds, and the company will supply some owners of each size of dog with one of the 2 foods. The owners have agreed not to feed the dogs anything else for a period of 6 months, after which the dog's weight will be checked. Right, so go ahead and pause the video and see if you can identify the blocks versus those treatments. Okay, so the things we have going on in this example, I have the small, medium, and large breed dogs, and I have this low calorie food and this standard dog food. So one way of thinking about which is the block and which is the factor is what's the thing I'm manipulating? Okay, that's going to be our factor and level, and I'm manipulating whether the dogs are getting the low calorie food or the standard food. So my factor and levels is going to be the food. And then my blocks are going to be the small, medium, and large. So from a different perspective, you can't assign a dog to be either small, medium, or large. They are what they are. And so that innate characteristic is also an indication that this is a block. So my blocks here, small, medium, large breed, and my factors and levels are going to be the dog food is my factor, and the levels are either standard or low calorie. Right, so one more example here. A brick manufacturer is interested in the effect different firing temperatures, either 100, 150, or 250 degrees Celsius, have on the density of the brick that is produced. Suppose the brick manufacturer has exactly 2 brick ovens, we'll just call them oven A and oven B at the factory, and uses both of them during production. Also suppose that there's enough time and resources to test 30 bricks total. Identify the factors and levels as well as those blocks. So go ahead and pause the video, maybe give this one a try. If you're totally stuck, don't worry. I'll be back in about 2 seconds and we'll go through it together. Okay. So we have these firing temperatures and we're wanting to know which temperature is the best. Is it that 100, 150, or 200? So that's kind of cluing me in that that's going to be my treatments, my factors and my levels. And if I back up a little bit and I think about, well, my sample is 30 bricks, then my blocks are going to be the ovens those bricks are assigned to. So either oven A or oven B, and we'll just split them up equally. Each one will get 15 bricks. So this is actually an example where you would randomly assign into the blocks. So it's pretty rare, but that does happen. So the oven is our blocks, and then our factor is the temp, and it's got 3 levels, 100, 150, or 200. All right, so now that we've taken a little bit of a look at what these blocks are, come back in the next video and we'll define what this randomized block experiment is and how to draw that diagram.